What up, everybody? I am Lou, and today we are. Hold on, just checking my connection real quick. Okay, I'll show that I'm live on YouTube, but not on Twitch. Not sure why. Either way, at least I'm on YouTube. What up, guys? I am Lou. So today, again, it's Friday. I'm actually kind of late. I had to get some things set up and move some files over and things of that nature. I was trying to go live at 9. That's the schedule. I was trying to get set 9 to 11. But we're drinking today. It's Drinking with Lou. And of course, I got me this new bottle of tequila called Casa Mexico. So let's see if you can see it. I need to give myself a new camera. So right now I'm using a my Canon M50 to stream. It's a nice camera, awesome pictures. It's really great. The problem I have with it though is I can't get a clean HDMI output unless I put it in manual focus, which is what I'm doing now. So every once in a while I may get autofocus, which kind of sucks. Or it doesn't autofocus, which if I put, I'm trying to put the bottle in front, of course, it is not autofocusing. But either way, that's kind of in the budget. Probably another month or two. End up getting me a new camera. I'm not sure which one. I may get a Canon M50. The second version of it. That one does have clean HDMI, so I could have it on autofocus. Now the issue with that camera is you're still gonna have the issue where the camera turns off every 30 minutes unless you keep it active. And right now I have the Canon app on my phone. So this phone is the Fold, but I have the Canon app on my phone. So anytime I'm active on my phone, it keeps the camera active. So it's kind of like the workaround to make it last longer. Either way, though, hopefully y'all having a good time today. It's Friday. Y'all hopefully your day was well. Man, I'm excited. We could talk. Again, I'm calling this Drinking with Lou because I'm drinking. And what I'm doing in this session, I'm testing out new tequilas and new whiskeys and bourbons. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing. And kind of trying to, figuring out which ones are good, which ones are not. From a taste standpoint, trying to educate myself as well. How many of these, which, especially in tequila, which ones are made from the authentic process, not with big manufacturers, right? Big companies, they have certain processes that kind of help speed up the process of making the tequila, right? For example, a lot of not preservatives, what's the word I'm looking for? Not artificial flavors, but can't think of the name. Damn it. Either way, they add other elements, right, that are not through the natural process. Some sugars and things of that nature, like sweeteners and things, to make it go down smooth and taste. But that's not how traditional tequila. I'm not saying it won't taste good. I will be tasting some that, of course, are made through that process, and they may taste good. And I'll tell you, hey, this is good. But keep in mind, it's it has all these extra ingredients, right? There's extra sugar in it, pretty much. Either way, that's kind of what I'm doing in the session. But as I talk about and as I have a drink and kind of chill with y'all on this Friday, we'll talk tech. That's the other thing about it, anything, right? But mainly Python, if you want, because those of you who follow my YouTube channel, most of my videos that I have are related to Python. So if you do have any questions related to Python, maybe you have some issues that you want me to review. You want me to review some of your code, for example. Man, put it in the chat. Let's take a look at it. by all means, if you want to share your code with me, but you don't want to like type the code in the chat, of course, then you could email me. And you know what? While I do that, let me open up my email. So if I do get any emails, it will be shown. But you could email me at I'll let me copy the email. Let's see. Yep. You could email me at it will be contact at iamlu.net. So I'll put it in the chat. Those of y'all. So if anybody wants to send me any code to look at to review, then we could do it that way. And again, whatever it is, man, anything related to tech, could be Python, it could be just programming fundamentals. So I have my own business, and I have a small team, and we do a lot of integrations, web development, like web apps, for example. Things of that nature. Like we deal with a lot of APIs, build APIs, we connect to APIs, a lot of data integration, moving data around, data processing. One of my clients was doing a lot of that, like processing Excel files or flat files or whatever. So that's kind of what we do in my company, a lot of those kind of transactions. But if you're interested on like how I got started, or maybe you want to start your own small company, whatever, right? Freelance. And when it comes to software development, by all means, man, let me know. I'll be more than happy to share that with y'all, and we'll kind of go from there. So while I wait a few to see if anybody joins, I'm gonna make me a drink. Cause again, this is called Drinking with Lou. So I'm gonna have a drink. I would recommend y'all have a drink too, so we could all have a drink together. And again, let's talk tech. So those of you who are just joining, the drink of my choice. I have not had this tequila the first time, so I'm tasting a lot of different tequilas. Casa Mexico. Here it goes. Kind of hard to see. Damn camera not autofocusing, but nevertheless, it's the Blanco. The clear. Let me just pour a little bit so I could taste it. You smell it. Got my Cowboys glass. Again, so those of y'all who may not know, I reside in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Big Cowboy fan. Been a Cowboy fan since I was born, pretty much. So even I know we haven't won a Super Bowl in so many years, and I get it, right? And this year kind of sucked because we looked pretty good in the first half of the season. But nevertheless, I'm still a fan. Still going to continue to be a fan. You smell it. I could smell some of the agaves. And then, of course, some of the alcohol. Kind of smell half and half. So let's see how it tastes. It's smooth. I could taste a little bit of the agave. Let me taste it some more. It has this hint of, I'm trying to think, what is it? Some kind of what flavor would I say? I don't want to say walnut. Damn. It's something like that. I don't think it's walnut. Let me see if it says, but it's something, man. I could taste that. You could actually, it actually kind of hits you kind of hard, that flavor. Then it just kind of like fades away. It's not bad. but it is slightly different. Um, but I do feel kind of overpower the agave taste. It's not bad. Like I'm going to continue to sip it, but so far, what is that taste, man? That smell as well. I could smell it a little bit more. Man, I can't. It's like in the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it though. What it is? Well, I'm pretty sure it'll come to me in a few. But it has a specific taste. I can actually smell it a little bit too. It's kind of like on the sweet side, but it doesn't really taste sweet. I mean, that's the good thing. Um, but you can smell it a little bit. It goes down smooth though. I would say I do like it. It goes down smooth. Um, oh, North Fort Worth in the house. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah, man. What's up? No, that's good to know. I'm from actually. So we may be kind of nearby. I'm from North Fort Worth too, around um the Riverside, Western Center kind of type area. So I'm not for sure how far north you are. I don't know if you're up towards North Tarrant, North, or even further, Roanoke or whatever. But man, we're pretty close. Thanks for jumping in. We're just talking tech. Again, I'm having my drink. It's drinking with Lou. So as I drink, we're just gonna talk tech for a while and kind of review some code as people wanna talk and review. Um, oh, by Bucky's. Oh yeah. Okay, I see where you're at. So you're maybe a good 15 minutes away or so. Um, you're like just what south of Texas Motor Speedway, around that area. I go to that Bucky's. I buy some of their snacks. Man, I love their snacks. So I go up there every once in a while, get some. So not too far. It's about 15, maybe 20 minutes max from where I live at. So you're pretty close. Well, thanks for dropping in, man. Again, you could jump in any other if you want to come back later. Again, right now, just drinking. Again, drinking with Lou. And we're going to be talking some tech, some Python stuff, and then probably review some code. I know last week when I did this, I had a few people jump in, and we kind of reviewed some code and got some things fixed. So we may end up doing the same thing today as well. If anybody wants their code to get reviewed and kind of discuss what we could do to kind of solve some of their issues. But thanks for jumping in, man. Thanks for jumping in. So let's see, guys. There's something that I wanted to kind of start discussing. Where is it at? I'm trying to find it right quick. So one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk to people was, um, so I do Python development, right? That's what I do. That's my main language. That's not the only language I deal with, but that's my main language. So what we do in my company, I have clients, and ultimately they want, let's say, an app build, right? I'm just going to use an app for an example. Um, so I build it. I build an app. The difference, though, is what some other companies may do is they build the app, they deploy it, under their either internal server or their cloud account that they have, like AWS, Azure, whatever they're using, right? DigitalOcean. They deploy it, and then once they do that, they're gone. And normally they do that for a couple of reasons, right? A, they don't want to be responsible if something happens. They don't want to be responsible for the maintenance, for the updates. It's kind of like, hey, I don't want that liability. So it's more of a, you build it, then you move on, then you go on to the next project. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, that's fine. The way I have done my structure, my accounts that I do, I kind of do the opposite. I build it, but I'm more of a, hey, I'll manage it for you. Like, that's what I provide. I'm providing the services. I'm not just going to build you the app, but I'm going to deploy it under my servers that I have, and then I'm going to manage it for you. Do data backups, make sure that all the security patches are up to date. Do all of that. Now, on top of that, I kind of get I'm able to charge them twice, right? So when I say twice, is I charge them to build the app. So let's say another company will build a app for the client A, and they'll be like, hey, I'll charge you $10,000, right, or 15,000. I'm just picking a number, 15 grand, build an app. So once they finish that app, they charge 15,000. Then they go to the next project, right? You keep repeat it over and over again. I do the same thing. Like, hey, you know what? I'll charge you, let's say, 15,000 as well, within the range. But the difference is, I will manage it for you. I will manage it. I will make sure that everything's up to date security wise. I will make sure that if anything happens, right? If any services go down, me and my team will jump on it. We'll fix it. Make sure everything goes back online. And on top of that, because we're managing it for you, I'm going to charge you a monthly fee for us to do all of that, to manage it and do backups and whatever. And depending on what they want, the fee changes. So, for example, some clients may be like, okay, like, I want you to manage it because I don't want to deal with it. That's fine. Then on top of that, they're like, well, hey, like, can you add, like, normally what happens after I deploy an app, what ends up happening is they will start asking for features sometimes right away. Like, oh man, this is cool. Like, can we add something else that's out of scope? So I'm like, okay, well, that's going to be a feature. That's a feature request. So I'm going to have to charge you. And then they're like, okay. Or, the most of the time they're like, okay, cool. I mean, they understand, right? It's not in scope. It's not part of what we discuss. So there will be an extra charge. And on top of that, if they want me to manage it, sometimes I may bundle everything together where I may be like, hey, so there, you want these X amount of features done throughout, kind of give an example. After we roll it out and everything live, client minds start thinking. They're like, oh man, that would be cool. We could do this and do this and do this. So now they have all these ideas. So what happens is they're like, well, can we add this feature? Can we do this? And can we do this? And of course, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, we could do that, but I'm going to have to charge you. Now, since I'm going to manage this application for you anyways, we could do a 6 months or 1 year agreement where I would charge you X amount per month, and we will do a lot of these updates that you want, and it also will cover, me managing your application, which is web hosting and backup, security updates, all that kind of stuff. So, and they like that because, oh man, I don't have to put up another whatever, right? 5,000 up front, or whatever it is, right? Whatever the cost may be, I could just kind of like paying payments, whatever that amount may be. Maybe it's $1,000 a month or whatever. I'm just again, whatever the amount is, but whatever it is, and so that ends up having a recurring revenue. So now I charge X amount, and now I'm going to have this recurring revenue continuing months after months. Now, there you get your pros and cons with that. The pros is there's recurring revenue coming in. Second, the reason why I did it that way, I noticed there was not a lot of companies that I came across, like small companies, right? I think there are some bigger companies that were doing stuff like that, but smaller companies that I noticed that are doing that, and it makes sense, right? It's kind of like when you flip a home, right? You have a few options. You could renovate the house, sell it, get your cash up front, and boom, jump on to the next project. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or you could be like, you know what? I'm going to renovate, and then I'm going to rent it out. Right? So you're making money every month. It becomes more reoccurring. but and then depending on the again, it's you have reoccurring revenue, but it becomes a little more slower potentially. Now in my case, slightly different because I still charge them relatively. The charge that I would charge them monthly, not monthly, the charge that I would charge them for the development of the original project, still gonna be very similar. But sometimes I do lower it down, right? Like if I'm trying to lock them in for that 1 year agreement for me to manage it, and let's say I'm going to be charging them $1,000 a month to manage it and do all that, whatever, a few updates here and there throughout the year. Well, my mind is like, okay, maybe I don't charge you 15,000, but I'll charge you 12,000. But you got to sign to the 1 year agreement where I will manage it and do the X, Y, and Z. Normally, once you kind of lock them in, what happens is a year from now, their system's up and running. They just assume, right? It's up and running, everything working fine. They may not want to deal with the whole, well, now I got to move it to my own cloud provider, and I got to manage it, and I got to do whatever. So they're like, hey, you continue to manage it. We'll continue to pay you whatever your monthly fee is. So that's just another way, besides just doing, finishing the project, you could continue to have a recurring revenue. Now, I get why, again, if you're freelancing, I probably wouldn't recommend that because then you're ultimately taking these responsibilities that maybe you don't need. In my case, I do have an actual company, LLC company. It's called Go App It. I do have a small team. I do have, again, it's not a big team, it's small, but I do have a team though. I do have a team that helps out. I do have some contractors that help out as needed, and some employees. So I do have that, so that helps out to work on these projects and manage it and maintain it right going forward. On top of that, I have a AWS account. I have a lot of servers that are already kind of set up. So I kind of have a lot of the work done, which makes it easier for me to take on the responsibility, which is number one. Number two, I do have insurance. I believe right now the insurance I have probably like $1 million or so. So if something happens, and let's say, some issues occur, right? Like terrible issues, system goes down and the client's pissed off and it's affecting their company or whatever. I do have insurance that will help cover for that, and they will pay out. So instead of them suing me or my company, for example, for whatever money they feel they lost, or if something happens that, for example, right, I have insurance that kind of help covers that. I believe it's up to $1 million for those kind of incidents if they do occur. I get it, when you're freelancing or doing something small, you're not going to have all of that. So it makes sense of why you want to build it. You want to leave like, hey, I built it, your system, but I'm gone. And most likely, if there is issues, they're not going to come after you. They're not going to sue you. Most likely, right? Overall, or the system goes down and now their business is out hot. They're not going to come after the freelancer, right, that did the work. But if you're managing it, they may come after you. But again, we have issues. The system that I manage, there's times where something happens, right, it goes down or whatever. One of the APIs is not working properly, something, right? But we jump on it. That's the point, right? That's the point of me managing it. We monitor as well, so sometimes we figure out issues before the client even realizes, so we just go and fix it and then we're good. Other times the client may see the issue and then they let us know, but we jump on it right away. So like that, client's happy, client satisfied. As long as they're satisfied, they're happy, that's good for me. I'll continue to have business, right? They stay, they don't go. So that's kind of some of the pros and cons on like managing other clients' systems, for example. What else? But there's a lot of benefit having your own business, right? Or even being a freelancer. You get to determine what jobs you want to take. I think the scary part of it is always how are you going to get to work. So whenever I first got started, when I first started my company, I only had one client, right? So one client. That's all I had. One client, and um, I first did a small project for that client. And it was like an $1,800 project that I did. Knocked it out like bang, awesome. Then the client was interested on me building them this platform. It was a web app, and there was a lot of moving pieces. Again, you gotta understand, I was still kind of newish when I started my company. There was a few things that was kind of loose that you learn over time, right? To be more defined on requirements, things of that nature. So there was a lot of stuff that when I reviewed with the client, it was very, oh, we want X, Y, and Z. So I wrote it down and kind of determined, all right, this is what they want. So it's kind of, as I started building it, things started changing. Oh yeah, but we like to have this, like to have this, like to have this. What I should have done there was like, hey, those are all new features that are not part of the request. And if you want it, we need to update the scope of work so I could charge you accordingly, right? Give you a different price because it is more work. I did not do that. And I think part of the reason why I did not do it that way was because I was initially was more of a, like, dude, I only have one job and I'm done. So I'm trying to take, you kind of, I don't want to say desperate mode, but you kind of are to some degree. Like, I'm trying to take what I could get. And I think initially the cost that I was charging wasn't cheap either. I wasn't charging as, like, again, my first job was like $1,800. The second one was more towards like $15,000 or whatever. It was in that range. So it was like, all right, cool. And in my mind, though, I was thinking too, like, oh man, I should be able to knock this out in, let's say, 2 months. Assuming that if I did knock it out in 2 months at the max, dude, that would have been $7,500 a month. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good, I think. Um, but what happened is they started adding more and more and more. I should have stopped that. I should have said something. I should have reevaluated the cost. I think a part of the reason why I didn't do it that way is because the quote that I gave them was already very tight. Like, they were kind of like, oh man, we don't know we could afford. We don't know we have the budget for that. That's the, not that they can afford it. The right wording that they use. Well, we don't know we have the right budget for that. So that's kind of why I was a little bit hesitant. Like, oh well, I don't want them to stop this project midway because all these extra features are going to be beyond their budget. So a piece of me was kind of like, which I should not have done that, right? I shouldn't have done that. It's a lesson learned, but I did. So nevertheless, I took on the extra work that they were doing, and I didn't charge them the way I should. And what ended up happening, the 2 months job, because in my mind initially it was going to be 2 months, because that's the requirements that they told me, right? Initially to build the app, I estimated 2 months because they added all this other crap on top of it, and I should have said something to stop it or re-quoted them, and I didn't. Ended up taking more like 5 months. 5 months. So even though I was charging like close to 15,000, but now 15,000 for about 5 months, which is crazy as hell, right? Then you look at the math, like, well, dude, that's way less than, instead of being 7,500 a month, kept making on that project. Now you're taking what, 1,500 divided by 5, and now it becomes more like 3,000 a month. And then to make it even worse, whenever I invoiced, they had a 60-day, what is it called? Like 60-day net payment, where like once they receive the invoice, they won't pay until 60 days. So on top of that, I had to wait another 2 months before I even got paid. So overall, from the beginning to I actually got paid, it was like 7 months. It took 7 months. And dude, it was crazy. Like that's how it was in the beginning when I first started my company, man. It was tight, very very tight. I was like last to my last. I was at my last dollar pretty much until that check kicked in. I was like, yes, finally, man. Once it kicked in, I was like, cool, boom, started paying bills and doing everything that I needed to do. And then, of course, what happened after that, I ended up getting another client, started doing work with them. Then I started getting another client. Eventually, over time, now this is going to be four years for me now with my company. And now we're doing good. Now we got a handful of clients, we've been continuing to do work. I do work for them, API development or maybe their web app or whatever it may be, right? But I'm doing all these um, different projects, and now it's at a point where I've been able to hire somebody, and I got maybe one or two contractors helping out, and able to pay myself very well, and it worked out for the best, right? But I'm telling you, it is tough. It's not always as easy. Like, and that's always the scary part when you want to become, let's start your own business, or you're gonna be a freelancer. The scary piece, that's always like, how am I gonna get that first client? But trust me, once you get that first client and you keep, again, networking or building relationships, eventually what happens, the word gets out and people start realizing and seeing what you're doing and how good your work is. Then you start getting more and more people coming. It just kind of naturally will come. And eventually, once you start getting one client, they're like, hey, can you do something else for me? Can you build me this other app? Right? They have these new ideas. Or, hey, the app that you did build me, can you add these new features? We want to add this and add this. And what happens is, once you kind of lock them in on that first project, then you could charge. So kind of going back to that first project, the one that I mentioned to you, the one that I charged around like 15,000 or so. Well, what ended up happening was, after we went live and everything was live, they wanted all these extra features added after the fact. And after that, I was charging the crap out of them, because I was like, dude, like, I'll charge a way less than what I should have to build the app to begin with. Now, I didn't tell them that, but I know in my mind, I was like, dude, what I should have charged them was more like 35, 40,000 for the app. At the minimum, that's what I should have charged them, but I didn't, and that's my mistake. I ended up charging them like 15,000. So because they wanted me to add all these feature after feature, a few like just kind of scattered in the next year or so, within the next year, I was adding all these other features. Well, I was getting my money back then. I was like, all right, that feature is gonna be 5,000. This other feature is gonna be 4,000. This other feature is gonna be 3,500 or whatever. This other feature is 7,000. So then, once I started doing all that, then of course I was able to get some of my money back. But ultimately, without that, dude, I would have lost money on that first deal. And those are some of the mistakes when you first get started, your first freelancing, or your first you got starting your own business. Man, you're gonna be making mistakes sometimes like that, where you're gonna underbid, underquote yourself. You're in your mind, you're thinking, oh, I could build this web app, because you have built already other projects. For example, you have done all these tutorials or whatever it may be, right? So in your mind, you're thinking, oh yeah, that's easy. Get a database, create the models, connect your models, create your views, all of that. It sounds straight easy in the beginning, but what happens a lot of the times, they start switching requirements on you. They start changing things up midway sometimes. Or they just start adding all these other features that never was discussed in the beginning. And on top of that, some of the features that they're asking for are not like quick fixes either. Like, hey, we want a new field. It becomes more complex of what the ask is. So now it's like, damn, that's gonna take more long. It's gonna be a lot more. It's gonna take more time, or it's something that you gotta now figure out. Like, wham, how the hell we do that? Or what's the best way to do that now, or whatever, right? So there's a lot of learnings that came from the first project, but that's fine, right? At the end of the day, I was able to make up some of my losses on the updates. Now that's how I got some of my money back, you want to call it. And then now going forward, I've been able to raise up my rates, charge more for my services. And people continue to come back. People that I've done business with continue to come back. What happens a lot of the time as well is, when you do build something for someone, for that person, you may be the only technical guy they know. They may not know other technical people, other programmers, other software engineers. They don't know anybody. They just know, like, hey, you're my guy now, right? Like, you become their guy. If you do a good job. If you do a crappy job, they don't want you to be their guy. So you got to keep that in mind. But if you do a good job, you become their guy now. You become the person that they come to now, because that's all they know, and you keep them and you continue to do business as they need more services done. So there's a lot of lessons learned from that aspect of it, but I have learned them, and I think now things are going very well, and very thankful for everything. Um, so again, we this is drinking with Lou. I'm drinking some tequila, Casa Mexico is what I'm drinking. Um, so let me know what y'all drinking today. Again, we're talking code, tech, anything you want to talk about. We could talk about hardware devices. I've been getting into more to hardware. I've all been software guy, but lately I've been getting more into hardware as well. I have two builds that actually I build myself. The one that I'm streaming on right now, just actually got a new GPU, 6900 XT. And then of course the other build has I don't build on the other build. The other build is more for work, is my workstation. But that one has a 5700 XT. Um, and but this one I need to rebuild, and this one's crap right now. Everything's kind of pretty much outdated. My CPU, the 3700X. What else? My motherboard, nothing special. I do have a 1000 watt power supply, but I believe it's gold. It's not bad, but whenever I do my next build, I do need to get a 1200. So my GPU at full max has for recommendation at 900 watts. I think my next build that I do, I'm gonna end up getting a 12 gen Intel i9. I got a GPU already, so 6900 XT. Because I'm getting 12 gen Intel, I'm gonna get some DDR5 as well, and I'm gonna upgrade my power supply from 1000 watt to a 1200 watt platinum. So from gold to platinum. So it's still good. I'm gonna keep it because that's a good as power supply. So it's not bad at all. Probably use it on one of my other builds that I do, but for this build, I'm gonna end up. So like today, I'm streaming. We're just talking. I do game on this build. I'll probably end up gaming later on tonight on Twitch, or tomorrow if I don't do it today on Twitch. So if y'all check me out as well. I am the real Lou at Twitch. So I do game on there right now. Halo Infinity. Damn it, man, I can never say it right. So that's my game of choice right now. I was playing CS:GO before. But man, I'm a big fan of it. I'm loving Halo. Kind of remind me back in the day when the first Halo came out. Halo 2 as well. Me and my buddies, we used to play. We used to play this on Xbox. Well, I guess it was only out on Xbox, what I'm talking about. But they were brothers, and they actually had two Xboxes, and one brother had an Xbox in his room, the other brother had it in his room. So there was times where we should just do a direct connect, right? That's how you did it. You connect the Ethernet cable from one to the other one, and then now we could play against each other. It was awesome, dude. Like it was awesome because everybody there too, right? There's something about it, right? Everybody physically there. And man, we get rowdy. We just it was a lot of in your face and kicked your ass, and dude, it was awesome, dude. It was very fun. Those times we used to literally play for hours, dude, hours and hours. Well, with this new Halo, kind of reminds me of that, that feeling. I would love to kind of see some kind of tournament related to that, and check it out, take a look at it, like join and even play. I'm not that great, but I'm good. Like I consider from a level 1 to 10, I would say I'm like a 7. So I'm not bad. I think I'm above average, but I'm not elite either by all means or real good. I'm just good. So so let's see. Damn, the autofocus is kind of off. There it goes, a little bit better. All right. So let's see. So I haven't got any requests yet for any code reviews or any code updates or anything of that sort. Um, so what I want to do is, so we'll talk a little bit about Python right now. You know what? That's what I wanted to do. So let's do that. Let me share my screen. Oops. Why the hell are they showing that screen, man? What the hell? I don't know why it does that crap. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get this straightened out. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Okay. I don't know why the hell it was not working right. So one of the things I want to test out was Python 11. So last week, yeah, well, last week on Friday, we did some testing over. Well, not testing. Somebody had a request about, hey, I did a video related to your brute force attack on an Excel sheet. Well, he wanted to know, hey, how do we do that, but on an Excel sheet, not workbook, my bad, but on a sheet. You know, 'cause you could have sheet 1, sheet 2, and you could password protect each one. So we went through it. We figured out we figured out how to do it live, right? So that's the good thing about what I'm doing now. If you have questions, we could try to solve it live. So we did. We went through it, solved it, found the solution. One of the things though that I noticed was, not that I noticed it before when I made my original video, but I was iterating over, I don't know, maybe 2,000 passwords. It took a good second to go through everything, a good minute to kind of from start to finish to iterate through the password list. And one of the things I wanted to test was Python 3.11. How much faster is it? Is it even faster? And if it is, by how much? And I think because that process actually took a while to run, and I believe I was running in Python 3.7, maybe 3.8. I don't recall. We need to check it out. But nevertheless, wanted to see. Let's test it out. So that's something that let's go ahead and do. Why are they doing this again? What the hell, man? Again, what the hell, dude? I don't know why this keeps switching over, man. Like every time I start OBS, I gotta redo this, and I don't get it. It doesn't make no damn sense. Okay. So that's something that we could do here. I'm gonna do a test related to from a performance standpoint of Python 3.11. Again, if y'all have any questions, man, drop a chat. Be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. If you have any code that you want to review, discuss, by all means, leave it in the chat. So let me go to download our releases. Yep, looking for a different version. I want this version. So this is the version that I want. This is actually the newest one, February 3rd. So that would have been this month. So let's do this guy, 64-bit. And let's go through the process. Yep. Customize. I probably should have put this in the VM, but that's fine. That's fine. Yep, so I have 3.8. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna create another folder and call it Python 3.11a. A for alpha release. Install for all users, blah blah blah. Okay, so while that gets installed, so let me open up my terminal. All right, move this to the side for now. And ultimately, I'm running the same code that I had before, but I'm gonna add some stuff to it. So let's see. All right, cool. So now that's done. So what I want to do is, let me make sure that 3.11. No. Oh, damn it. I didn't want this to be under my main. So I need to change that shit. Alright, so let me stop. That's fine. That's fine. I'll get that fixed later. So what I'm going to do is... So I have an environment already. So I'm going to create a new environment. So this environment that I have, let's see, what is it? So this is 3.8. So that's the Python that I tested it out with before, 3.8. All right, so now what I'm going to do here, we're going to do virtual environment. I'm going to call this EVN 3.11. Right, let's call it 3.11. So it should create a new environment for us. Let's see. Yep, there it goes. Boom. Okay, so now I have that environment activated, which is Python 3.11. So let me do this. I'm going to open up another window, another terminal. Oops. the hell? Oh shit. Code, YouTube, Python, brute for attack. There you go. Oops. So I'm gonna do source, environment, source, activate. All right. So this tab is 3.8 and this tab is 3.11. All right. So let me go ahead and open it up. Yep, here we go. It's already here from last week. Now the difference, what we're gonna do here is I need to have a process for start and finish, right? So, let's see. So let's take a look at that. Python start time, finish time. Alright, so we're using the time package. It's been a while since I've done this, so that's kind of why I'm taking a look at it. So I do have the time package in here already because I'm sleeping. Alright, that's fine. So as soon as this runs, I will do a start time equals time. That will be my start. Alright. In order to determine the difference, then I'm going to do, so I want to do a few things here. If it finds it, right, if it's able to find the password, let's print so let's print let's do this. You know what? No, let's do it this other way. That's fine. So I'm going to do seconds. That's how long it would take. And it would be time minus start time, right? So let's just add that here, and then I'll add it at the end of this. All right, so let me save this. So what I'm gonna do now, we're gonna run it in two different environments. Let me run in 3.8 first. So in this case, it will be Python brute force worksheet. Oh, why did it open it up for, dude? Doesn't make sense. No, it's not. I should not be doing this. Let me kill it. That was odd. Not sure what happened there. So let me go back to why was Excel being opened up like that? Do I need to put the display alerts? I shouldn't have to do this, man. I should not have to do this. I'm trying to think now. Alright, so before I go over, let's try this guy. Worksheet. Oh, I need a... Yep, that makes sense. Is it P... No, what is it? Win 32 calm? Is that what it is? Damn, what is that package, man? How the hell do I not know this? Let's see. PY32, that's what it is. PY32. I don't get why it's trying to open Excel, man. This makes no damn sense. Like, it really doesn't make no sense, man. I don't get it. There it goes. Man, I don't know why. Maybe because I had the other file open. Let's do it again. What the hell, dude? It did it again. Dude, this makes no sense. Why are they doing this? And it won't exit out. Dude, what the hell, man? Now this is weird. This is very, very weird because nothing changed in my code. This is, man, it's the same code I had last week. Of course, the only thing I added, what I had it right now, which is this guy. So let me just comment that out for now. Right, I'm going to comment it out because now I'm curious, is that causing this issue? Because that makes no damn sense if it is causing that issue. None, dude. None. Let's see. So let's do... This is a 3.11 Python version. Dude, again, what the hell's going on with this shit, man? It is not like... It doesn't make sense because it's opening it up, but I don't get why either. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out the why, because it doesn't make sense to me, man. Let me check something right quick. I'm just curious. Okay. Dude, this really doesn't make sense. So it's not this, man. I can tell you that right now. That's not causing it. Dude, it just doesn't make no damn sense. Like, we went through this last week and we had no issues related to this at all. So now I'm trying to think, did something change? And maybe let's try this file, man. I'm just curious now with this file. Let's see. See this one, it did not open up, right? Excel didn't open up. It's still running. Let me see if Excel's opening. Oh, it's up in the background. I actually don't see it open in the background, which is kind of odd. Trying to see if it's seems to be running, and if it is running, I don't see that it's opening up any Excel application on the back end. So normally when I run the other one, you'll see it open up here right under apps. You'll see that it's opened up. This one, there is no Excel that's opened up. Okay, while that still runs, I'm gonna make me another drink. What time is it? 10:30. So probably be on for another 30 minutes. Again, those of you who are viewing this, maybe not through the stream, but through the through my YouTube videos, this is Drinking with Lou. I'm drinking some tequila, and again, we talk tech, programming, things of that nature. So any questions you have, any code you want me to review, whatever it is, by all means, this is the time to do it. All right, cool. There it goes. They found it. And then now it's still going. I don't get it. I don't get why on this other version, like, what is different between these? What happened, man? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because it makes no sense at all. Everything's pretty much identical at the end of the day. Oh, why is my open workbook over here? Why do I have it in here twice? What the hell, man? Well, there you go. That's why. I don't know why it's in here twice. That's kind of messed up. So let's try it again. I want to try this other one again. Brute force. What is it? Worksheet. There you go. That's what it was. I knew it had to be something, man. It had to be something. I don't know why this is up here like this. Maybe I had it commented out. I don't know, man. That's odd. I don't know why it's on here, but that's what was causing my issue. I knew it had to be something like, what the hell, man? Why are they trying to open up Excel? Okay, so at least we know it works. It's running. So while that's running, let me open up my terminal again. And I'm gonna run it with the Odin Python 3.8. Python. Brute force worksheet. Again, this is the 3.8. So let's have that run. So we have both of them running right now, right? And it's fine. So from a performance standpoint, I'm trying to see where I could see it. But from a performance, let's see. Can I tell? So what should happen, they should be running, at least from a core standpoint, on different threads. I can't, it's kind of hard to tell, right, on which thread it is. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's this one and this one. These are all over the place because I believe this is probably like me streaming. Who knows? I can't really tell. Alright, so this one down here finished, and it said it took 135 seconds. Right? That's what it shows. Alright, and let me grab yes, let me grab some. Hey, what's up, Carlos? No problem, man. No problem. Thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping on. Do appreciate it. Much love, man. Much love. So again, we're gonna talk code, continue to do it, but thanks for the message. All right, so let's see. Password was not able to unlock because I think I changed it, right? So that makes sense. So it actually took 3.8 was faster. Let's run it one more time, right? I don't think it had nothing to do because I ran them both at the same time. I'm pretty sure of it. But let's go ahead and run them at the same time, better yet. So I'm going to run this guy first. And then let's run this guy next. Run them in the same time. This environment is 3.11. This is 3.8. I was trying to see if there's any performance difference in this case. What it's doing, it's iterating over the Excel sheet. The only thing I could think of is since it does have to call the Windows API and again apply the password ultimately, right? See if the password takes depending on how the connection with the API, the performance, it may not be related to Python in this case. I think a better test may have been something where it's strictly Python. For example, maybe it's something where we put data. I actually have a better example. It was a big file. I had to process this healthcare prescriber file. Man, that file has You know what? While this is running, let me see if I can find it. Maybe we could do a quick test on that. That one's actually a better test. So that one, what should happen is all of the data. Um, I'm trying to think if it gets put in memory. I believe it gets put in memory. Then we do some slicing of the data. Then ultimately we generate an extract of it. That process takes some time. It actually takes a good amount of time. So I don't know if this will be a good time to do it. So here's the interesting. Boom. So this sucker ran 99.01. Dude, that's a lot faster. I don't know why. That's a big time difference. Like, what the hell happened there? Remember, these two ran the same time. This one's still running. This one actually ran first. I don't know why. The first time this took 35 seconds, which is, what is it, 2 minutes and 15 seconds, right? 135 divided by 60, 2.25. But ultimately, that's, yeah, I mean, that's what it is, right? 60 plus 60 plus 15. Or, yeah, so it's about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But now this sucker took 90 seconds to run. Right, so what is that? Again, 60, so a minute and 39 seconds is what it took. Damn, this one's still going. See, that's odd. That's taking a long time. It's and here's the thing about it though. When I ran, when I did my test earlier, I ran this one first, and then I ran this one, and this one actually ran faster by 3 seconds. Now, when I flipped it around, I ran this one first, and this one actually ran faster. So there must be some kind of conflict if they're both running at the same time, because maybe they're trying to access the same file. Who knows, right? But nevertheless, this one's still going, man. I think it's going to pass the 132 second time frame. So let's see. Hopefully it gets done. Once this finishes, I'm going to run another test, this by itself, this only. So we can kind of try to compare. Just running them independently. But so far, this one shows the first run 135 seconds. Second run, 99 seconds. Now this one ran 132 seconds. Now it's taking a long ass time. It's still going. Damn it, man. It's still going. What the hell? Shit. Dude, that's taking way too long. Way, 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 way too long, man. Not sure why the hell it's taking that long, but it is. So I have been getting a lot of, while this is running, I have been getting a lot of requests, questions better yet. So I made a video about how to download files from Sharepoint. And one of the issues I think I'm seeing a lot of people have is um, their company has incorporated two-factor authentication or more multi-factor authentication. So what happens is you cannot just use your password and your login to connect to SharePoint, um, because there's a two-factor authentication layer to it. Using SharePlump, that's not going to work. I am looking into another package, and maybe we'll do that next week on the live stream. We could look in it together. We could do some testing, unless somebody has stuff they want me to review. But with SharePlump, there is no two-factor authentication, which means if your corporation has implement two-factor authentication, that's not going to work. Now, there's a few workarounds. They're not the best workarounds, but there are some workarounds that you could do. Or let me rephrase it. Not necessarily that you could do, but you could talk to your company about doing. One, for example, is if the company has incorporated multi-factor authentication, see if they're willing to create a user. Let's just call it integration user or API or whatever you want to call it, but create some kind of user. And that specific user will not have multi-factor authentication, and your admin should be able to adjust the security settings on that user. Like, let's say if you're going to use that new user account, they just call it a API user account. They could set settings that pretty much allow that user only access to, let's say, a specific SharePoint, only access to do certain things. Very limited access, right? But they could limit it to what you needed to do. In this case, maybe SharePoint and, certain, to upload and download docs, for example. But they could try to limit the settings for that. And then that should help out, right? By doing it that way. They could add other settings to it. Like, let's say if you happen to, they could add a setting for region, where in order to use that to log in with that user, you got to exist from a specific region, right? So let's say if your company is located in Dallas, Texas, and you live in Dallas, Texas, well, they could set it where anytime a script is running, it has to be from Dallas, Texas. Now, that's not ideal, especially if you're going to be running the script on on a cloud provider like AWS or Azure. But if you run it on a cloud provider, that's even easier, because you know that you could have a static IP address on there. So then you could tell the admin, like, hey, only allow this IP address for this user to do what it needs to do. So now you're being more secure, more sure, right, that when it is running, it's not like because somebody, got obtained access to that user account and now they're running, calling the APIs to do whatever they want to do. It's more of a, hey, it's only accessible to run on this specific IP address, which happens to exist on whatever cloud provider you're running, right? Or even locally, if it's like a you have some kind of in-house server, you just kind of put the script there and have it scheduled to run. And you could do that any machine, right? Even a normal PC that nobody uses in the corner. If you're not familiar with it, there is a task scheduler on Windows. Now, this is on Windows. Linux has Crohn's that you could use. But a Windows, since I'm assuming a lot of people are using Windows, you have a task scheduler, and you can easily have a task run. Like, I have this task running, and I have it run at midnight. So another hour and so a few minutes, it's going to run automatically. And ultimately what it's doing, it's executing a Python script. That Python script, what it's doing is open up the browser. It's logging into a web portal. I'm not going to go, I don't want to specify too much details. So I guess it will tell you right there, AWS. But it logs into, it's not AWS, it's Amazon. But it logs into the Amazon account. Then it starts, using Selenium. It starts to control the interface to be able to download files, save the files, and then it just iterates over. There's a filter. It clears that filter and then apply the new filter. Apply, download. It repeats that process, I don't know, 100 times or whatever I don't recall the amount of products that we're querying, but that's what it does, right? So that's a good example where you do have a script you needed to run. You could do it. You could do something like that as well. But kind of going back to the whole thing with connecting with SharePoint without having multi-factor authentication, that will be the workaround. Get with your admin, see if they're willing to create a user account that will be strictly used for integration purposes only. Make sure that that profile is not configured for multi-factor authentication. And then on top of that, you could even add another layer. They could add another layer and to only allow that user to log in to SharePoint if it's coming from a specific IP address. So if you're going to be running the script on a cloud server, you could have, you should have static IP addresses, and I say should, but you don't have to, I guess. But assuming you have a static IP address, you could provide that to the admin, or the admin should know, and then that'll add another layer of security. It probably makes admin guy feel better too, more at ease that he's allowing a account not to have multi-factor authentication while all of the other users in the organization need to have it. So that's one way to do it. But the issue is you got to go through the admin. They may not want to do it. I mean, who knows, right? There's different issues. But if you're automating stuff for your company, it makes sense to do something like that, though. And the reason why I say that is if you add it to your own account, right, you're using your own login. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean what I'm about to say, but you could get fired one day. And I get it. If you get fired, like, well, who cares if that process breaks or whatever I built breaks? Somebody else got to manage. I get it, right? I mean, but I'm just saying, I'm looking at more from at least organization standpoint, or from a manager standpoint. If a manager is implementing something like this, that if you're using the users' names to automate the script, if they happen to leave, maybe they quit on their own, get a better job, right? Hopefully that's the case. They don't get fired. But if they leave, unless you change the credentials to that new user, whoever's going to be, that process is going to break. Because once their account get deactivated, they're not going to be able to log in. Anything that was scheduled to automate, it's done deal, man. It's going to break. So for that reason, I would recommend regardless. Man, why the hell, man? This is still running. It makes no damn sense. That's weird, man. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to run this bottom one more time by itself. This is the only thing that's running. And I want to see how fast this takes. So while we're waiting, man, I want to give. I'm very. I have a small following on YouTube, like about maybe 500, right, or close to 500. But I feel like I've been getting a lot of love from my followers and from people that view my videos, even if they're not following, but they have viewed some of my videos, and I'm thankful, man. I'm really really am thankful for that, man. Like. It's just something that I've been trying to do and trying to do more, to kind of share my knowledge, kind of help y'all out as possible. So it's awesome, man, that a lot of y'all appreciate it. I'm thankful for that. And again, man, so whatever I could do to help y'all out as well, man, let me know. Like I'm not trying to be. My goal is not to become. Like, at least it's not, right? If it becomes that way, that's awesome. But my goal was never to start making videos because I'm trying to make a career and be a content creator. Again, I have my own business. Like, that's where my focus is at. And I like doing it, and it's doing well. But I wanted to make videos to kind of share and help y'all out as stuff that I'm doing. Like, stuff that I'm actually applying in my business as well and share with y'all. So I am thankful that y'all are enjoying the videos and that y'all appreciate it as well, what I'm doing, man. So, I mean, I feel like I've been getting a lot of love. Appreciate it and very thankful, man. Really am. All right, so this ran in 97 seconds. Cool. So let's see if I could run this guy again. Let's see how long this one takes. Now nothing else is running. Everything has been done. I don't know why this never finished, man. Like I had to cancel out to get out of it. It's very odd, but I guess we'll find out in a minute. While this is running, again, probably later on tonight, I'm gonna get off here probably in the next 7 minutes or so. Maybe a little bit more. I may go to about 11, 10. I got on late, man. I got on late. I was supposed to get on at 9. Um, I was in a rush earlier, just with doing some family stuff as well. I was playing some video game with my daughter right after dinner, things of that nature. And then I was kind of in a rush to go to the liquor store to kind of again go give me the tequila that I wanted to taste. Um, so I've been sipping on this, and let me kind of switch. So as we've been streaming and talking, I've been sipping on this, kind of giving my thoughts on it. So it doesn't taste. Some of them you could taste. It has a very sweet taste to it. This one doesn't have that. Which I'm gonna assume that they did not add any other ingredients to it, right, to make it sweet or anything of that sort. So hopefully it's kind of made to its natural, authentic process of making tequila. Um, that's what I'm gonna assume, anyways, right? So, but I think overall, I'm kind of it's that. Oops. Whoo. Shit. That probably sounded loud. Let me move this over some. Okay. Ooh, damn it. I knew it. My mic fell. Gotta fix my mic, guys. Okay. Let's see if I could move it over without making it. All right. I think I'm good now. I'm good. So, my overall, I think from a 1 to 10, I give this a 6. I've tasted some that it has this taste, man. I can't really pinpoint what it is. And I'm not to say that it's a bad taste, but it's a different taste, man. It really is. It's just different. And I don't know. I'm still on the fence if I like it or not. It's kind of like, sometimes you may taste something, you're like, tastes good, but then it's like you eat a few more and you're like, it's okay, but it's not as good as it was initially when I tasted it. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this. It's not bad when I taste it. Like, okay, not bad, but the more I drink it, it's like I don't feel like I'm in love with it either. I'm not like, oh man, this is great, this is awesome. I just don't feel that either. So it's kind of, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to tell. But I think from a 1 to 10, I give it a 6. No, it wasn't bad. I think price point, this was $30. So it's not bad for its price. Bottle looks nice. It's not bad, but again, I have tasted better. Um, like for me, and I've been tasting other ones, but I do feel the what is it called? I actually have the bottle over here. the Migos bottle. Now this is the what George Clooney bottle that they have. Um, I actually like this, man. I know some people do not like it as much because a it's a celebrity, consider a celebrity tequila. So because of that, it's kind of normally by default it gets a lot of hate um, for it. But I tasted it and I actually thought it was pretty good. Now, now this one does have a vanilla kind of taste to it. My only critique there would be I think it's a little bit. It gets that vanilla flavor. I almost feel though that it may be not authentic, right? So if it's not authentic, that kind of sucks. Which is number one. Number two is the price. So this bottle $50, and I think that's kind of high. I actually wish it was a little bit lower, even $40, right, or $39, somewhere within the range. I think it'll be more reasonable. But I'm not a fan of it. I think for $50, I could buy other better tequilas out there that I know that are more um, authentic. Put it that way, like for sure. So either way, so it ran fine, and as we could tell, dude, this ran almost the same amount of time, 97 seconds, 97. Again, I still think this test may not have been the best test to run, because it is using the uh, the Windows API to access Excel, open it up, and so on. I think I need to do another test. I think a better test here would probably be where I'm doing some processing of data, where I'm taking all that data, it puts it in memory, it's processing it, doing something with it, spits it out. That will probably be a better test. And I do have an example of that. But again, it's already about to be 11. So I'll probably save that for next week. Unless we get some kind of questions or some kind of issue that we want to look at and talk about. But if we don't, we'll run through that scenario where I'll test that out to see how well it does. And we kind of go from there. So it's about to, yep, it is 11. So those of y'all who joined, who watch, man, appreciate it. Again, thanks for joining live stream. Give me a follow if you can. I will be doing this going forward every Friday. What I need to do is have a reminder and a notice so people will know kind of in advance that, hey, that I'm going to be live. I was late today, but hopefully next week should be on time. And I'll probably do 9 o'clock. So that would be the time I'm thinking right now. I wanted to do 8, but it's kind of tough to do 8. But I think 9 will probably work best. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, 9 o'clock. So it'll be 9 to 11. 2 hours where we'll have a drink, because it's drinking with Lou. And we'll talk. We'll talk tech, programming, whatever it is, man. Whatever y'all guys want to talk about, right? We could talk. And if y'all want me to review your code, I'd be more than happy to review your code. Or you want me to, work on something specific, to help you out, be more than happy to do that, man. So that's the plan. That's what we're gonna do going forward every Friday, 9 to 11. So again, man, thanks for watching. Those of y'all who joined the live stream, and we'll talk next week. Peace.